This Q&A video is brought to you by JHAP Gear. Life's a crusade. Dress appropriately.
All right. Let's try that again. So we got our large assortment of weapons today. Shotguns. The theme of this Q&A for Season 5 is shotguns.
Because we're trying to emphasize our bam and our explosion
Yeah.
and like...
Maybe more adjectives, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah, because that's what this season is going to be like. And you guys...
You guys are going to like it.
Just wait, we're going to...
Can't wait to show you guys what we
blowing
got.
up stuff. Oh, how many grenades went off in our
Oh
our
my
next
gosh!
video?
I need to make like a little mini grenade montage of all the grenades.
There were probably about 30 or 40
at
grenades.
least. And the worst part about that was when we were in the prison was the sound echoed all around the interior of the prison, and it just reverberated in your ears and made your ears would be ringing for 5 minutes. Like, I can't hear out of this right ear. I'm like, Daniel. He's like, what? Daniel, what? I can't hear you. Radio me.
That, and I had TAN team players, which I'm not really surprised by, but yeah, they legitimately threw grenades at me on purpose after I was killed.
Which was a fun time. I'll keep talking to this.
Which is a little bit of douchebaggery, but hey, you know what? People are going to be...
There we go. Just double checking some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just got some new camera equipment for Season 5 because our old camera was very unreliable.
Oh well.
And we ultimately had to take multiple.
We taped multiple things over and over and over again.
But anyway, welcome.
We can see ourselves in the lens right now.
We can. We got.
Like we used to have to just like kind of judge it and stuff, but now like
well,
I can
we wouldn't
see
even know if the
myself
video
in
was
the mirror.
recording. We can see a little.
I can see my awesome scalp regimen.
Daniel forgot his hat today, which I promised to point out.
My Q&A hat, but
so he's substituting with a very nice.
I mean, it's a America hat, America. So it's a substitute.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, welcome to Q&A episode. Was it 16?
Yep.
First Q&A episode of Season 5. Hope you guys will enjoy, and please stay tuned for future episodes we got coming up in Season 5. We promise to make this one our best season yet, because each season we like to try to outdo ourselves in the previous one, and this one we're extremely excited for.
Epic. Yeah, we got some awesome events coming up.
That we do. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First question of the day comes to us from, or the evening, because it's really late. So.
Or no, it's the morning.
Well, technically
it's
it is the morning.
3 a.m.
Dr. Y asks, what BBs do you guys mostly use? .2s or .25s? He gave us two options on here, but I'm just going to go ahead and say which one your favorite is.
I use 2.8s. I use 2.8s too. Okay, so we could go about this two ways. We could go by statistics as far as who fires the most BBs, or we could use a general, like an average, what each team member uses. Statistically speaking, I would say, who goes through the most magazines? Tyler, and he uses 2.0s. And then JoJo also uses 2.0s. So that's...
I think the most majority of the team probably uses 2.0s. Myself, Nick, and Daniel.
And what about Joey?
Joey uses 2.5, so he's the oddball. So he just counts out. So I think
that's because he has a polar star.
And we mainly use semi. I rarely use full auto. Daniel never uses full auto. And Nick never uses
that's
full
because
auto.
I'm restricted. I would love to just go ham on people.
The most common variety you'll see amongst the team would be 2.0s. Amongst us, probably 2.8s. Anyway, the next question.
That just depends on the rifle type.
Sure.
So,
anyway.
Okay, well, moving on to the next question. Very good question. Next question is by Bubster62, and he says, I was wondering if you could give a tutorial on what parts to buy to upgrade it to 450 FPS for any gun.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a very...
Matt-oriented question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, there is no certain thing... Okay, where do I start with this? Okay, I'm going to try to sum this up as best as I can.
You can't... Okay, well, first of all...
In terms of teching...
You can't really apply everything to any gun.
Exactly.
Obviously,
there are way too many variables for every single gun. For example, in terms of FPS is measured by basically one thing, okay? How much air is going down the barrel, okay? How much air you ultimately get going on the barrel. That's your overall objective.
And FPS doesn't mean everything, but that's a good thing to stick by as a general rule.
If you want 400 FPS, here is what I recommend to you. There's three things that contribute to FPS. Number one, the barrel, okay? A tighter barrel will generally get you better FPS, but a tighter barrel doesn't necessarily mean better range better accuracy, better range at longer distances. It depends on the gun. It really depends. You really got to experiment with it. It varies for every gun, but a barrel comes into play. So if you want to increase your FPS, maybe go to Type 4, because most guns have like a 6.06 or 6.08. Drop down to a 6.03. Start at a 6.03 and go from there. Anything lower you might want to try. So Type 4 barrels are always good. Upgrading your spring generally helps. Now note to this, if you want to upgrade your spring, you'll probably have to upgrade your motor, maybe your gears, probably your piston, because when you start to increase stress on other parts of your weapons, then you start to compensate for other things, such as the motor has to pull the spring, the piston has to be able to handle the force of the spring slamming it against the cylinder head, your gears have to be able to handle the torque, things like that.
And a bolt action rifle, for example, is a perfect example of this. This would be a good question for Georgia, because he's done many upgrades to an SVD that he has, a spring-powered SVD. And when you do upgrade a rifle like that, for example, so most people think, oh, well, it's the spring for a bolt-action rifle that makes it. Technically, that does raise the feet per second a lot because it puts more force behind it. But then you have all those other variables. You need better sears to handle the more spring pressure. And then you need a better barrel because you may have the FPS, but you don't have necessarily the accuracy to compensate for that extra range.
Exactly.
Then you may need to get better seals because it's not compressing enough for that higher airflow.
Exactly.
So it goes on and on.
It's a large system of checks and balances. But to answer your question, in order to get 400 FPS, you're going to have to do a couple things. Number one, first thing you're going to do is you're going to have to get a spring. Probably start an M120. Second thing will probably be, I would recommend upgrading your barrel.
Yeah.
Third thing, if your gun is a high quality like a G&P, you could probably get away with leaving the gears. Or VFC, you could probably get away with leaving the gears.
And this is just talking AEGs as well.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as if we're talking about any gun, as far as handguns go, anything gas powered or CO2 powered, there is not a whole lot you can do.
There's not there. You can buy some different.
Yeah. Well, there's what is that? FPS up.
There's some stuff you can do. I'm not a huge gas blowback guy, but there are some stuff you can buy different nozzles and stuff. Again, I don't.
Well, I know one product that just started coming out on the market for specifically gas blowback guns. You can't put them on like green gas type. You can put them on CO2, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. But it's called the FPS Up Mock Suppressor, and I was actually just looking.
It has like an inner barrel built into the suppressor.
It's basically it's just an inner barrel, like a Type 4 inner barrel that's built into the suppressor, unlike a normal mock suppressor where it's just hollow all the way through. And so when you connect it, it gives extra barrel length, which contributes to extra FPS. And you can do that on other handguns anyway. You can actually, depending on the gas blowback, what you can actually do is just replace the barrel with a longer barrel and then put on a mock suppressor. Hence the reason for mock suppressors basically in any part of airsoft. So that's just one option. That's an example for handguns.
Yeah, for gas blowbacks in particular. All right, next question. Moving on to I'll use this one. Let's see. The Awesome Kid. What should I do if I want to record airsoft, but I don't want to spend $200 on an action camera? Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. Well, all right. Up front, if you're looking to buy an action camera, be prepared to at least pay $100, at least, okay? And cameras are not cheap.
No.
They're not cheap things.
And you get what you pay for.
And you get what you pay for. Now, that being said, there are some great camera options out there that you can get for around $100, and you can also get a couple of used. Okay, so number one spot what I would recommend going to would be eBay. eBay sells good like contour cameras and GoPros that have been used by people. Yeah. And they're selling them cheap.
And see, a used camera is not a bad thing.
And it doesn't make it bad.
Especially a GoPro, for example, because you'll probably find those on the cheaper end. They'll be probably the most reliable.
Or you could get some older, and also people will be selling their older versions. Like right now, Contour, for example, has the Roam 2 and Roam 3 versions. Okay, you can buy probably Roam 1s. People are just selling the Roam 1s for like probably $100. They're still just as good as the Roam 2 and 3. Just a few minor differences, like then maybe the quality won't be as good, maybe the audio. Different features would be good, but
cameras are something that you work into. Like even for our filming equipment, it's something that as it becomes more necessary.
Start at the lower end of the totem pole and work your way up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Start at eBay, look around. You don't need to pay $200 right off the bat for an action camera.
Yeah.
But I would recommend sticking to like Contour, GoPro, and trying to find one of those used as opposed to doing like something made by a Midland radio. No, sorry. Midland makes like an action camera, but I don't, you know, Contour, there's a whole bunch of great action cameras out there. Personally, my recommendation for Airsoft, from my experience, Contours and GoPros work fantastically. So I just try to find one of those.
And it also depends on what you're. Yeah, it also depends on what you're using it for. Like for example, I'm sure since he's so popular now, I just saw him skyrocket. Is Navrich. I think what is it in Austria? He does the sniper cam footage.
Yeah.
Really cool. Awesome concept. He really pioneered the sniper cam and. Everyone loves it.
Everyone knows. If you've seen any sniper footage,
300,000 subscribers now, something like that. He actually just uses a standard Walmart.
I think he said it was like a Sony camera that he modified to scope cam.
Yeah, it's a Sony camera that he just mounts above his scope and like a homemade mount. So I mean, even if you want to do something like that, you don't even necessarily need a GoPro or something.
True.
It's all up to what you want to do and how much money you want to spend.
Yeah, but be prepared to pay at least like $150, somewhere around that range. Okay. All right, Daniel, want to take on the next one?
Okay. Jesse Chartier, is that French?
Chartier. You butcher these names so bad. We're so sorry.
Chartier.
I'm gonna say Chartier.
I will look it up in a dictionary because that's my French accent. Oh la la.
Mon chéri.
Cheese.
Okay.
Wine. French stuff. Anyway, back to the question from Jesse, good old Jesse. What guns do you and the rest of the team use?
Oh, okay. Guns we use on the regs. I used to use Scars a lot, but then recently I started getting. I still love Scars. Daniel likes to mock me about this a lot.
Scar syndrome.
He always says that. I love Scars. I love Scars. Scars are fantastic. I still have one on the rack up here. Currently, this one, a little sneak peek, why not? This one, I'm working on. This is my current progress.
Is that on your site? Did you get a T1 site for it?
Maybe.
I did not see that.
Maybe.
Oh, don't point it on my face, Matt. Come on, gun safety.
It is gun safety. I was pointing behind your head.
You pointed it.
How am I supposed to manipulate this thing? How am I supposed to manipulate this thing without shit? Anyway. So, this is my work in progress right now. Shut up. I got a tan gun in the process. I got this black one I want to do a black one. My current process right now is I'm building a CQB one. Setting this one for CQB. My tan one's kind of in the works right now. But I want to probably knock out this black CQB one because I see a lot of Scars in tan. I think kind of a black one would be kind of cool to do, and something like a CQB format would be awesome as well. So I think something along those lines would be fantastic, and would be something you guys would like to see as well. However, currently I've more fallen in love with M4's style platform because you can build them and customize them so much. I'm hanging this up the wrong way.
Well, that, and if you do get a Scar, expect it to break. Just so you know.
Daniel likes to hate on Scars. See, you always make fun of me for being a hater, but you always. I just tell it as it is. It is not how it is. I've had very good luck with Scars. Don't listen to me.
Very good luck, as in your Scar has been broken for the past, like, what?
No, it was working fine. I took it apart, and then I just was too lazy to put it back together, and the parts I had.
Okay, well, if you don't believe me,
it was working fine.
Nick. Everyone who has had a scar on
the only reason why the Scars
has had it broken.
Every
single person who has. I've never had my M4 break.
Yeah, you did. Your piston was gone. The day you got your gun was shredded. I opened that thing up, the piston was already broken. And that's because it was used for shredded. But everything was toast.
There was a reason that
your gear teeth were gone. I replaced your gears in your M4.
But there is a very good reason for that.
Nope.
My gun was used by a military instructor for training purposes in the military. So I fully expect a gun of any type that's airsoft to be shredded. I guarantee you that will happen in that type of scenario.
Gears. I've never seen GMP gears busted in my life.
Hey, the military can do it. If you want anything destroyed, the military can do it. Am I wrong? No.
No, you're not wrong, but exactly. I don't think it's.
But if you want to just play just regular airsoft and you want to get a Scar, you will break it.
You won't break it. Don't listen to them. Scars are very reliable.
I know from experience.
The only bad things we've had are the wires, and if you're just careful with the wires, you're good to go. They've lasted, high rate of fire, good FPS, good range.
Explain Nick's barrel.
Nick's, he put a new barrel in it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Everything that's broken into the things we've done to it.
And it's not just that.
That's the problem.
The gears screwed up too.
No, the gears are not screwed up. What we face problems with is we figured out scars are very proprietary guns, meaning that the parts they like are the parts they come with. When you try to upgrade them, then there's certain complications that happen. So, for example, Nick put in a new barrel into his gun. Didn't like the barrel. It doesn't work with the outer barrel so much. Put in a new bucking. They don't really like new bucking. So scars are that's why I'm saying these are project guns, because you have to really tinker and camper.
Well, that's why
the
you
only
go with
time
the
scars
M4
hit broke.
Cheaper.
That's why I like M4s, because I didn't have to invest as much money into trying to fix up this scar, whereas an M4 you slap on rails, motors, and stuff, because all the parts are based around M4 kind of style parts, whereas scars, VFC models in particular, they work with version 2 stuff, but I find they're very picky. Like, they don't like certain stuff we throw in there. For example, I've only found like one motor that scar likes. Don't ask me why, I don't understand it, but it only likes that one particular motor. I don't understand it either. Theoretically, it should all work with all version 2 motors, right? Wrong. It does not. Only works with one. So, anyway, moving on. We talked about this for a little while. Let me answer about 2 more questions. I think it's your turn.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, this question from Garrett Allen says, in a firefight, do you ever get a thrive to survive even with the guns to kill?
Yes, we do, because it's absolutely... Airsoft is much rap and people hate on it for like not being, oh, you join the military. It is one of the most realistic things and one of the most simulated things you can get to real combat. Right aside from that simunition training, which obviously is a lot of money, a lot of expense. You need a lot of open land to do that, like, and you and specific permission to run with those live rounds. They're not live rounds. They're like they use like a special simunition rounds. I don't know the exact details on them, but a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of permission, stuff like that. Airsoft, cost of money wise, realism wise, ease of feasibility to do it, probably the most realistic way to get basically combat oriented.
And see, if you don't believe airsofters, because a lot of people say, oh, well, airsoft, it's just all talk. I mean, they've never seen combat. It's true. We've never seen real combat.
Nope.
I won't see it until I'm into the military. I don't know about other people that play airsoft, but I have had a lot of friends who are in the military play. I've had one of my good friends, Ross. He was a Marine. He played after he was in Iraq for I think it was Iraq.
Ross was a boss.
Iraq or Afghanistan, but he was in one of the countries and he was there for like 3 or 4 years. He comes and plays airsoft. He loves it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he said, I mean, it took him back home. I mean, he had a blast.
It's very interesting to say, for as much hate like the airsoft community gets from like the keyboard warriors
and from the people,
that we get a lot of our guys participating in the sport are ex or current law enforcement.
I mean, one of the guys that runs at DV8, he is an ex-Green Beret.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many military personnel who actively participate in airsoft, yet we still get so much hate from people on like Instagram or YouTube, like, oh, airsoft is so stupid, airsoft is for fags, blah blah blah, whatever. But see, it's just plain good old fun.
It is, and that's the other thing too. Like,
and that's what's mad.
That's the one thing I hate so much. Like, you can buy a real gun, like you can't shoot your friends with real guns.
And
I have real guns.
You can only shoot at targets, and you can only just.
It's stagnant targets. You can't.
I mean, and that's plenty of fun too. We did that today. We love to do that.
Shooting guns is awesome, but then when it comes down to it, when you actually want to get to like we're getting in one-on-one fights, and like you want to have you want your target to be hunting you, and you hunting your target, you want it to be like a challenge, like to be able to beat him over him beating you. Then
I have plenty of respect for target operators and stuff. They spend a lot of time and they spend a lot of money really training hard with target shooting and practice shooting.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot replace that training, but in the same point, they don't get to practice camouflage tactics. They don't get to practice real-time strategy and everything against other people that are thinking against them.
Exactly.
That's a big aspect they are missing in their training.
So to summarize, what we're basically saying is there's two sides of every world. On the side of real steel, it's very important to hone your skills in terms of accuracy, because when you're playing in airsoft, you're doing a lot of things wrong, such as you're holding your gun incorrectly because you're not accounting for the recoil and stuff like that. So in terms of airsoft, I wouldn't say it handles so much as correct gun manipulation, because I really think that's where
real steel comes into play.
That's where you really need
it's really, I think the best kind of training you could get would be a combination of both. If you do a lot of target practice like we do, and we go out to the range and we put hundreds of rounds of lead downrange, and we get to practice, and then we can put it into play when we're in airsoft.
And then you get that one-on-one person combat.
Yeah, so we can use tactics on both levels.
Exactly.
I think that's probably one of the best ways you can do it.
And like we said, the only other thing you can do to beat that, like that marries the two together, would be that simunition. But then again, you have to then get the guns that run the simunition, get the permission to run the simunition.
As cool as that is, and as much as that could account for the same type of practice, really, who can afford that?
And that's
not many.
Not a lot of people can do, or are willing to, because the other thing too is getting hit with those simunition rounds. That sucks. Like that's like.
I mean, it's like rubber bullets. That's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard it's like getting hit with rubber bullets.
That's like I wouldn't mind doing that, but like a lot of airsoft is a lot of younger audiences too. Do you think they'd be willing to do that? Probably.
So
not.
so back to the question, adrenaline. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of adrenaline. Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You gotta try it already. Highly suggest it. Just do it. Gotta get it out of the way. Gotta go for it. You'll love it. You'll fall in love with it, and you'll just probably get addicted to it the second you get to it.
Yeah.
Who was it that got addicted to it? We got you addicted to it.
Yeah, and then it was JoJo too. Because,
and then Joe was just
JoJo. He's very good with. He's not cheap, not at all. He's very good at spending money on what is important. Like he'll save up. He has money going towards a retirement fund already. He's very good with money management and stuff like that. So he had the perspective that I don't really want to spend money on something like this, like airsoft, because I have like insurance on my truck and all this kind of stuff like that. But I mean, as soon as we got him into the sport, he can't help it. He loves it now.
Addicted to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Make sure you have some money to spend when you start playing airsoft.
Because once you get started, it's going to suck away all of your money, and you're going to love every single second of it. But anyway, guys, I think that's about it. I think it's about 24 minutes. Jeez, that might be one of the longest ones we've ever done. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this kind of feature-length long. It's not quite feature, like half feature-length long Q&A video. Hope you guys enjoyed. You got any questions for future Q&A videos, please be sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and maybe you just might see your question answered in the next Q&A video. So without further ado, guys, I guess we'll see you guys next time.
See y'all.
Take care.